If either of you had a question.
Can I come back to, I welcome you keep coming back to the need to promote peaceful coexistence, and one of the things we're trying to get to from this inquiry is what is Britain's sort of USP in helping to get to that. And one of the things I'm concerned about, I wonder if you share the concern, is that the proposed law for Knesset around taxing NGOs funded from overseas at 80%. It feels like that's a sort of blockage for if Britain, for example, wanted to continue to invest in peace-building organisations, because we've obviously got two deeply traumatised communities, so it's more important than ever that work is supported. I wonder if you share my concern about that law.
Well, I think that the issue of what Britain can do, especially in terms of NGOs and international bodies, is to try to focus on those which aren't part of the problem and which haven't been really repeatedly shown to undermine peace. So I would list among those UNRWA. Indeed, there were many pieces of evidence that Israel provided, but also that were provided by the Palestinians themselves in the videos they released on October the 7th, showing UNRWA vehicles or even UNRWA staff engaging in actual acts of terrorism, dragging a corpse into a car. One of the hostages, at least, I remember, said they were kept in an UNRWA teacher's house. Another said they were guarded over by UNRWA people. I think that the UK indeed needs to look very closely at international bodies which purport to be helping the Palestinians, but actually are doing a dreadful job for the Palestinians and for Israel's security. And so it would do Britain, I suppose, a lot of good to try to work more actively to dismantle structural biases against Israel in international bodies like the UN, and also to cease funding UNRWA because of those sorts of links. And again,
I was looking really at the funding of NGOs, grassroots organisations within Israel and Palestine, which do peace building, and whether that law makes that job more difficult, because you've rightly said that has to be a priority given the trauma that's there.
Well, I think that if you've got concerns over a law like that in Israel, the best way to deal with that is as part of the international community, it's to help bolster international bodies that aren't compromised in that way. And so that means
I'm not talking about international bodies funding. I'm talking about the funding of grassroots projects within Israel and Palestine, civil society organisations, and that law potentially being a blockage to the international community being able to do that.
So I suppose what I'm saying is that often when members of the international community wish to provide aid or financial aid for humanitarian purposes for Palestinians, they're doing so through bodies that the State of Israel, rightly or wrongly, and that's something that would need a very detailed discussion between us. Maybe we don't have time for it now. I'd be very happy to engage in it. But bodies that they say are not committed to fairness and are not committed to peace, but are committed in some way, in their opinion, towards the perpetuation of the conflict. And so I would say that the best way we could target that, other than perhaps having an opinion like yours that you don't like this action of Israel, is to try to bolster the organisations which aren't doing that, and to try to agree with our ally Israel on why it feels that way about certain bodies, so that they wouldn't feel this sort of defensive need to do that kind of thing. If they know that Britain and other nations are able to provide funding for Palestinians in a way that won't be hijacked by Hamas and other terrorist groups and used against Israel, and if they know that commitment, that financial commitment, won't be used to educate and indoctrinate against Israel Jews and in the pursuit of jihadism, then I think that they won't even be thinking about those sorts of laws. Instead, they'll be the ones, I think, first in line to help support the bolstering of the parts of Palestinian society which actually might help to resolve the problem. And I think that I am quite sympathetic to them on that front.